Hello, I'm Dr. Audrey Sussman. I'm a hypnotherapist and the director at the Anxiety Control Center. And what I do is teach people how to stop anxiety, panic, and worry that gets in the way with living life to the fullest. Has stress or fear ever stopped you from moving forward in life? Do negative thoughts cause you to be overwhelmed? Is it difficult to stop your mind from racing with worries? Or have you ever wished that you had the skills to create calm or confidence in just an instant? Would you like to move from feeling stuck and anxious to feeling free and energized and motivated? Well, I might be able to help. And in the next 15 minutes, I'll be telling you about how you can get a step-by-step program that will teach you how to use your mind in a totally different way. And because you are at my website listening to me, I guess that anxiety is something that either you or someone you care about is struggling with. So at the end of this short video, you'll get a link to your first exercise for the calming breath, which is also a mind calming exercise. I'll also tell you about a contest I've created to help encourage you to take an action in setting goals for gaining freedom from fear, anxiety, worry, and negative thinking. It's what I teach people to do every day. And there are a number of different ways to learn the skills I teach, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But first, let me tell you how I came to developing the step-by-step system I've been using with my clients for over 25 years. Many years ago, I used to suffer from panic attacks. They seemed to come out of the blue, and they made life really difficult for me. So if you're suffering with panic or worry, you know it's hard to do things when there's that fear running in the back of your mind. My fear started with just one small area, driving. It was nearly impossible for me to drive out of my small comfort zone just a few miles. Unfortunately, over time, the anxiety just began to creep into other areas of my life. I had a very successful career. I took joy in my children and my family, but the worry and fear began to invade my work. At times, I was specializing in parent-child issues, and I had a very successful program going. So what I did is I expanded it and began teaching workshops so that more people could attend. Now, as my workshops became popular, you would have thought that I'd be just delighted. But what no one knew was that the weeks before the workshop, I would have so much anxiety that at times I'd feel it wasn't worth all the stress. I pushed myself to continue in spite of the anxiety, but it took so much longer to do things because of all the worries I was creating. Now that I understand more about anxiety and how it's created, I know how to stop the two words that will wreak havoc on any system. If you have panic attacks or anxiety problems, pay attention, because the two words are, what if? They go like this. For me, I used to say, what if it's not good enough? What if people think what I'm presenting isn't of value? What if I forget what I want to say and stand there with a blank mind? As you can imagine, those fears created a very difficult time for me to stand up in front of people. And I knew the fears weren't logical. I had helped many people using my workshops, but panic isn't logical. It made the weeks of preparing a nightmare for me, and it almost caused me to quit my work. Now, I was always a person who was able to find solutions for challenges in my life, so you can imagine how frustrating this was, not being able to stop this panicking and anxiety feeling. I did all the typical things. I read books. I tried telling myself there was nothing to be afraid of. I told myself everything would be fine. I really felt I should be able to stop the irrational fear, but panic didn't listen. I felt frustrated and exhausted. I even tried talking to professionals to get answers, but it sounded like they thought I should be able to stop the fear and panic by my sheer willpower. Trust me, if I could have stopped the fear just by wanting to, I would have. So I decided I would find a way to stop this devastating problem. I went for training in treating panic, using all the techniques available at the time. As I studied, I added skills to my teaching, and interestingly enough, more and more people sought me out for my help. My private practice began to move from parent-child issues to panic and anxiety issues. I became known as kind of the specialist in anxiety at the place I was working. And what I would do with my clients, I'd ask them, can I practice these new techniques with you? And it's interesting, my clients were more than willing to try anything, since they too were suffering with panic and anxiety. And this is the way I actually began developing this new, better way for dealing with panic, worry, and fear. I always had an interest in hypnosis, and I added some hypnotic techniques to the mix. My clients seemed to be delighted with the results, and I thought I had found the answer, but there was one huge drawback. In order for the skills to stick, they had to be reinforced either by tapes or by coming back to see me. So I was back to the drawing board. I continued to look for a way that didn't involve people having to work so hard to manage their panic and anxiety. Now this is where the miracle came. One day a colleague of mine came back from a 4-week training in something called Ericksonian hypnosis and neurolinguistic programming. She was a totally changed person. She went from this quiet, shy woman to a transformed person who was animated and outgoing. I thought, if this can do that for her, I need to learn this. So I went for the training. I added the tools to my therapy. And over the years, I continued to study neurolinguistic programming and Ericksonian hypnosis. It took me many years to combine all the pieces into this new program that I've developed. And for me, this has been the panacea. I'm happy to say that my program actually changes anxiety reactions, and more importantly, it's available and can be learned in a number of different ways. I've been using it in my practice for years. I have testimonials from my clients on the amazing changes they've made. My program is also available in New York and New Jersey in live group workshops. And last year, I added the pilot project to see if people could learn the skills in an online coaching format. The results were so fantastic, and people were so pleased that I now have put these skills into a home study course. In this home study course, you can listen to the replay of the live course. You get all the action plans for each session. You get action steps to follow every week. And each week will build on the skills from the last week. This home study course that you can get gives you all the tools to truly stop negative reactions and to get lasting change. And it's at a fraction of the cost for private therapy sessions. Of course, you could always see me for private therapy, but this is something new so that it will be available to most people who maybe can't come to New York or New Jersey, who want to try it on their own. So let me tell you why this is such a different method. The old world of getting relief from anxiety or panic had two parts: cognitive behavioral techniques, which takes so much work that people get frustrated and give up, and something called desensitization, which, in my opinion, can re-traumatize people, causing even more problems. But until now, that was all most people had available. And those skills leave out the most important part: fixing the faulty programming that causes the problem. The new approach I've developed uses the combination approach. Yes, it uses the most effective techniques from cognitive and behavioral therapy, but the secret is it combines two types of hypnosis, classical and Ericksonian, with neurolinguistic programming techniques. This is where the real power comes from. You know, I know that many people haven't tried hypnosis because of fears they might have about hypnosis. Many people, when I tell them I'm a hypnotist, some people will cover their eyes and say, "Don't look at me," as if I'm going to hypnotize them right there on the spot. And other people say, hey, can you make me bark like a dog? Which is, I know, they get this idea from watching hypnosis shows. The truth is, the method I teach, you are in complete and total control. You are using the power of your own mind in a healthy, enhancing way. Panic and anxiety hits people from all walks of life. And because people with this problem are really creative, anxiety attacks can happen anywhere. They can happen in the comfort of your home, just thinking about something, and they can happen as you're preparing for a new project. I know we have a lot of business people developing new business. If they have anxiety issues and what if issues, that gets in the way, and it causes procrastination, it causes fear, and it causes what many people call self-sabotage. But there is a solution for this kind of worry and anxiety. So whether you have a fear of flying, of taking a test, or speaking in public, or if anxiety is making it difficult to stay focused when taking on a new challenge, you can learn to use the step-by-step skills. And to start the process, here is a link to the first calming exercise. Just go to www.actionendsprocrastination.com/breathing for calm video. actionendsprocrastination.com/breathing-for-calm-video. So here's what you should do. Go to the link, and I'll have it listed on here. You'll see it on the screen. Watch the video on how to use the calming breath. Then click on the link for the contest rules that I've developed so that you will be motivated to begin to set your own goals for what you want in life. Follow the contest rules, enter the contest, which means you'll be sending the answers to the questions to me at askdraudrey@gmail.com. That's askdraudrey@gmail.com. So once again, the first action step is you're going to click on the link. You're going to practice the breathing for calm exercise, which will actually get you in the proper or the most healthy state of mind for thinking about the next piece of entering the contest. Because when you use the exercise, it actually begins to set up a slightly altered state where you might feel that you could get a little bit deeper into looking at the inner causes or the inner things, issues that you're having. So again, I look forward to hearing from you, and I want to let you know that one very lucky person will actually win the online coaching course, the online home study course, which is a $390 value. So I'll look forward to hearing from you. Go take action now. Take the first step. Get the Breathing for Calm video. Use it. All the directions are there. I'll look forward to seeing you. Thanks you, and signing off, this is Audrey Sussman from the Anxiety Control Center.